I'm Mari Cartel, LifeScript.com, and this is your Hollywood Health Report. And look who I have here, Kevin Sorbo. Let's start off with your book, because that was pretty amazing. You've had a heck of a journey.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine going through what you went through and then coming out the other side and being so positive.
It was 3 months leading up to it, where I was on the set of Hercules. We shot in New Zealand, and we were wrapping up season 5. I was about to come back to America to do a movie in Atlanta, Georgia for Universal Studios. But I kept having problems with my shoulder and my arm, and these 3 fingers kept getting colder and number. I couldn't figure out what was going on, but I was blowing it off. You know, I mean, I was Hercules, for crying out loud. You know, I called my doctor here in Beverly Hills, actually from New Zealand. I said, you know, this is going on. He goes, you may have bumped your funny bone. They call it the ulnar nerve. He says they can give you that sensation. And I was doing all my own stunts and lifting heavy 2 hours a day, and so I just blew it off. But then I got back here, and I was doing promotional work on a movie called Kull the Conqueror, and Kull was the prequel to Conan the Barbarian, even though they shot it afterwards. I went to do David Letterman, then I went to Boston to do some more publicity up there before I was coming back here to do Jay Leno. And it got so bad, they sent a doctor to my hotel room. His name was Dr. Dye. I kid you not.
That would make me run.
You're a doctor, you really should change your name. But ironically, he was the one that pegged it correctly. He said, I think you got something cardiovascular going on with you. So when I got back here to see my doctor, they found a lump in the shoulder. And I went to see my chiropractor in Santa Monica. I'm laying on the table, and I hear a voice inside my head that said, don't let him crack your neck. And I opened my eye, I looked at the doctor. I said, did you say something? He said, I didn't say anything. I closed my eyes again. He says, do not let him crack your neck. Which is weird, because in 8 years, he's never cracked my neck, because I don't like my neck cracked. He knows that. So I'm thinking to myself, why am I hearing this voice? Why does this voice tell him, don't let him crack my neck? And boom, he cracks my neck. I sat up, I said, why did you do that? He said, I felt you needed it. Within minutes, that was an aneurysm that we didn't know about in that shoulder. That crack helped open it up and send I was getting clots in these fingers. I was going on, but 3 clots went in my brain. I suffered 3 strokes. I could barely walk. I could barely move. I called my fiancée, Sam, who we met, who's now my wife. She said, I'll come get you. And I said, no, I'm fine. I'll drive home. And
is that like a guy thing?
I know it is. It's a guy's ego, stupidity. I know. And I did. I drove back to her place. She was probably about 6-7 miles away. And ultimately, they had to rush me to the hospital, because I had a 4th one go through that dissolved, but it hit my speech center, and I started slurring like this, and I knew. But I knew something horrific had happened. My balance was totally compromised. I had the sensation I was falling backwards 24 hours a day. That lasted for about 1.5 years. But I spent the next 4 months learning to just balance and walk again.
I don't think anybody really realized until a little later that you were that close to actually either dying or losing your arm.
If I didn't get in the hospital that day, I would have died. There's no question. I mean, the clots, they were running rampant. They immediately stuck a tube into me, and heparin, Coumadin, blood thinners. I mean, doing all kinds of stuff. The arm was turning blue. It was weird. I was leaning on Sam, but I remember just trying to keep my balance and hanging on to her, looking up at this beautiful blue sky, thinking, I'm going to die today. I didn't say it to her, I just said it to myself. I looked at the sky and said, this is so weird. I always thought that I would live a long life and have kids, and and what was weird is that I wasn't stressed out about it, which was strange. I was very calm about it, because I guess I just realized there's not much you can do, bud. I didn't think this is how I was going to go out, but this is it. And it was scary in there. I mean, I went into panic anxiety attacks. I went into, my body started trembling. My wife was out, my fiance, she was out in the waiting room, and somebody ran in, and I grabbed a bunch of male nurses to hold me down, because they wanted to find out what was wrong with me. They apparently tried to stick a tube down my throat to check my heart. The cardio, whatever it does, whatever it takes a picture of the heart, get it right down into your throat, all the way down next to your heart. And I started throwing people around. I have no recall of this whatsoever. And it was like,
messing with her.
Well, I just went ballistic, apparently, but they had to bring a bunch of beefy guys in there to strap me down. But there was a lot of that. Those first couple of days were certainly just a blur to me.
When did you feel that you knew in your heart you were going to be okay?
Oh my gosh, it took a long time. It took a long time. It really did. Any little twinge, any little bump toe, anything. Oh my gosh, it's happening again. I mean, it was definitely a good 6 months of that, of worrying about anything that felt a little weird to me. that something was happening again, because it messes with you. It messes with your psyche. It messes with your confidence. It just enhances the fear. And it was really for me to sort of let go and let God is what it came down to for me. I've always been a Christian, but I think you go through those stages where you blame God for this, you blame everybody else, but the reality is you got to look in the mirror. If it happened to you, how are you going to deal with it? By the end of season 7, which was 2 years after the strokes, I was starting to see measures of getting better. But Sam, my wife, gave me she gave me a mantra to say every day, because she said, stop feeling sorry for yourself. It happened. And it was look in the mirror and say, I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger. And keep saying out loud every day in that mirror until you believe it for that day. And it was very instrumental. It was very instrumental in pushing me.
Did you change anything, your diet, out of all of this, or?
You know, I had to change the diet a little bit because I was also suffering from these horrendous migraines that were. And that didn't surprise me. My brain had been altered, and there were a couple things going in the back of my head that were driving me crazy. One thing, I had a generator sound, a buzzing, low humming sound, 24 hours a day for the first year and a half. Every day, 24 hours a day.
Wow.
Just wouldn't go away. And I remember grabbing her hand one time. I said, can you feel the heat? And the only thing I could figure out what it was is that my brain was trying to rewire itself. That it was, it used to go this way, but now there's a wall there. So it kept hitting that wall. And it kept trying to figure out, well, which way do I go to get it? Trying to, get, this isn't normal for it. So, and the sensation of falling backwards 24 hours a day, whether I was standing, sitting, laying down. If I'm laying down, I felt like I was falling backwards and couldn't stop myself. And they went on for a year and a half as well. And there was 1 week, I was back home. I got invited to play in the AT&T golf tournament up at Pebble Beach. And I went up there, and for whatever reason, that whole 5-6 day week up there, I felt normal. I slept well. I was walking around. I didn't have the buzzing sensation, all that stuff. And I told Sam about it, and I said, maybe it's over. Well, it came back. But I wasn't disappointed. It didn't make me, I said, you know what? It went away. Whatever I'm doing right now, with the balance exercises, with the food, it's whatever it was, I said, we're doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. So that's when things started getting better for me quicker. It was after that year and a half mark.
And maybe after you let go.
It is letting go. I tell doctors, I say, don't lie to the patients. Don't give them false hope, but don't give them a negative hope too. I mean, they told me after 3 or 4 months, whatever you're feeling, you have to live with the rest of your life. Well, I was still doing really poorly after 3 or 4 months. And that's when I also said, there's no way, these guys are wrong. There's no way I'm going to live with what I'm living with right now for the rest of my life. But those overall 3 years were brutal. I used to say I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Wow. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out with me
pleasure.
today. Sharing your life like that, I think, is a big deal and very helpful to other people.
Well,
so thank you so much for coming in.
Pick up True Strength. It's a good book.
Pick it up. And this has been your Hollywood Health Report from LifeScript.com. I'm Mari Cartel.